So yes, I'm an Apple focused channel, but this technically is related to my iPhone and the SIM I use in it. And so today let's delve into my thoughts regarding Lebara, because I've been using this for the last few weeks, and if you're wondering if you should consider them as your next provider, let me tell you guys what I think first. So for those curious, I've been using SIM only plans for years. Me and my family have preferred buying phones unlocked, and I especially enjoy not being tethered to a contract and having the freedom to sell my phone whenever. So I've always been a fan of SIM only plans because most of them are 30-day rolling and they're much cheaper than pay monthly contracts, which you're likely stuck with for 2 years. Now the plan I was using before I made the switch to Lebara was with Virgin Media. It was 200 gigs for £20. Yes, you heard me right. I got this 5 years ago as a Black Friday deal, and 15-year-old Saran wanted the max amount of data available even though he rarely used 10% of it. To be honest, I should have switched over to a cheaper plan years ago, but I kept using the Virgin mobile plan because it was reliable. However, I did recently come across Lebara and their insanely cheap plans, so I thought, why not give this a go? And when I say cheap, I really mean cheap because the plan I chose is £4.90 per month for unlimited minutes and texts with 3 gigs of data. But here's the thing, the plan is 99p for the first 6 months, and actually at the time of filming they've dropped this to 49p, and it's even been 1p for the first 6 months in the past. And so theoretically, if you're not too fussed about keeping the same number, you could just keep buying Lebara sims every 6 months and you'd barely be spending anything. However, that was not my plan. My intention was to keep this, and the 99p for the first 6 months was a nice bonus. So signing up to Lebara was pretty quick. I just filled in my details, there's no credit check, and yeah, next day in the post I got the SIM, and boom, I put it in my phone and it was activated. The next hurdle, at least I thought would be a hurdle, was porting my number out. This was another reason why I stuck to my old Virgin mobile plan, because I was under the assumption porting numbers would be a huge mess, but that was not the case at all in my experience. The evening I got my SIM, I sent over my pack code to Lebara, and within 24 hours, my number had moved over. Now initially there were some issues. I could call people but others could not call me, but thankfully that was fixed within a few hours. And by the way, would like to remind you guys, like this video and subscribe for more content like this, it would be appreciated. So far everything seems pretty positive, but unfortunately the rest of my review is not going to be as glowing, because now we get to the main part of a SIM, which is signal and reception. So the main reason I chose Lebara over rivals like Lyca Mobile was the fact Lebara piggybacks off Vodafone, who is what Virgin Media was using before their merger with O2. And so considering my previous SIM was rock solid, I assumed Lebara would be the same, but unfortunately that's not the case. My speeds have been shockingly bad when out and about. I live in London, so I expect 5G and 4G speeds in most areas, but around where I live, I'm getting 3G more often than expected with this Lebara SIM. And especially when I go into a building like a shopping centre, the signal just plummets, and I sometimes get no signal from the device. Now you could argue most networks struggle in larger buildings, especially on lower floors, but let me remind you guys, Virgin Mobile was working just fine in the same areas. So it definitely seems like Vodafone is capping speeds for Lebara. I guess I should not be surprised if that's the case, because Vodafone does not want their consumers to move to a less expensive provider, but it does leave me disappointed with the speeds I got. And that's not all, I've also picked up on calls dropping out and sometimes failing altogether, which is not great, and it's something I never experienced with my Virgin plan. Now I do want to emphasize a lot of this is dependent on where you live in the UK, because there is a chance in less congested areas you could buy the same plan as me and have a wonderful time with full 5G bars all the time, but unfortunately that's not been the case for me, and I have to report it as it is. Plus I have also seen people mention online they've been experiencing issues, so I'm clearly not alone on this. So while I think Lebara makes sense as a cheap secondary SIM for a tablet or a kid's phone, or maybe even something for holidays, with the international minutes and EU roaming it offers, I would not recommend this as a main SIM with the experience I've had. I guess I'm not too annoyed because it's under £5 and under £1 for the first 6 months, so if I really wanted to, I could live with these slower speeds for this price. but I'd much rather pay a little more and get the speeds I'm used to from another provider. So yes, I likely will be switching away from Lebara pretty soon, and if you guys want me to cover my thoughts on other UK providers, I can do that if many of you guys are interested, but let me know your experiences in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and thank you for watching.